All right, everyone. Thank you for coming back to my YouTube channel I have over here on YouTube. Anyway, yeah, thank you for the comments. Also, some likes and shares and everything. Let's get this stuff going. Tonight, I want to talk a little bit about political spending on elections. You know, in the 2020 election, it totaled over $14 billion. You know, that was more than double the total cost of a record-breaking 2016 presidential election cycle, you know. And I ask myself, and I sit here and think about it, why can't St Jude, get this kind of money? How about the Shriners? Get them, why can't they? Why can't they get this kind of money? How about the ASPCA, all of them and everything? Uh, think about all that. All of this money, this $14 billion a year. I mean, not a year. I'm sorry, $14 billion to raise to have an election for a $450,000 a year job. I think it's mainly power. You know, so you think about all that. Oh, it costs around $14 billion. The extraordinary spending figures. Makes the 2020 election the most expensive of all time by a large margin. Come on, man. Why would it cost so much? Why do people give to these campaigns? I believe it's tax write-offs, tax deductions, all of this stuff. And usually the runners that are in these campaigns are billionaires themselves, and they don't need that money. So, it's the pricey presidential showdown between Joe Biden and Donald Trump was funded by an unprecedented number of small donors, giving online and billionaires who wield tremendous political influence over the last decade. Billionaires that had political influence over the last decade. Think about that. Did your vote count? Or would your $10 count the most? Which one counts the most? Money is the root of all evil. So you think about all that. The donors also fueled record spending, in the congressional races, capping off the 2020 election with the all-time most expensive Georgia the Georgia Senate runoffs. And this is nuts, man. The contest between the presidential election, both sides called it the most important race in history. You know why? Because a businessman was running, not a freaking politician. It wouldn't have been the most important race if another politician was running, because it wouldn't matter. The politics of it all, is due for what the government wants, not what the people wants. Also, Biden also received, more help from super PACs and dark money groups. That's a term used to describe political spending where the source of the money is not known to the public or made public, anything like that. So, there's a little hiding there and everything. So, you have to think about that too. How they get that? How do they get so much money? Trump's campaign raised over $775 million. Trump on over half of his money came from small donors, with $200 or less. So that tells you how many people was giving to his campaign, and that's a stunning figure. No other presidential candidate has matched that yet. So, you think about that stuff too. How many people give to these things? While the presidential election drew a record $5.7 billion, congressional races saw a stunning $8.7 billion in total spending. What do they spend this much money on? I understand they could pay $500 for a hammer, a little Stanley hammer that costs $30 at Lowe's, But anyway, the more money they raise means they are more likely to win. Is that the truth or not? I thought there was the most votes wins, or does the people, these guys pay people to transfer votes? You have to think about that one too. I mean, or do you even really care? I mean, most people are like, well, there's people that are hired to do all that stuff. But 9 of the 10 most expensive Senate races ever occurred was in the 2020 cycle. 5 of the 10 most expensive House races happened in 2020. The rise in the congressional spending started in the 2018 cycle, which smashed midterm spending records, man. All of the 10 most expensive House and Senate contests took place in one of the last 2 election cycles. You think about all that. I mean, before the 2018 cycle, no Senate race has surpassed, $200 million in total spending. The first $100 million race didn't take place until 2014. I mean, all of this money, is something else. It's like I tell my friends, you want to spend 265 million, 240 million, 1.9 billion, 14 billion dollars, and you're going to vote for these people, and you give them, you had to think about giving them $100, and what would that do for your grocery bill? What would that do? Would that make you put your house payment behind? You got to think about all that stuff. I don't give a damn thing to these politicians. None of them. Don't need to. They got plenty. Don't let them fool you. They have plenty of money. Anyhow, it goes on saying that the Democrats didn't expect to win the Senate in January, but why? How would they know this? How would I don't expect to win the Senate in January. We don't expect to. We don't expect to. How? How can you say something like that? Some of this stuff is really set up. You already know who's going to win. And if you look into it, it's set on communism. Most of it. They want in there the person that they want. If they would have known, the Democrats would have known, and the Republicans too. I'm not just going to dog the Dems out, but if they would have known that Donald Trump was going to win in the 2016 election, they'd have done some stuff to make it where he didn't, and Hillary would have been in. I mean, it's like Hillary said in one of her interviews that she wished they would have cheated for her, like they cheated for Biden. So you guys think about all this stuff. I mean, the life of this country hangs in the balance right now. I mean, these people are talking about they can't pay the bills, they can't pay this and that and the other, but yet he throws another $2 billion to Ukraine after throwing $113 billion to them and the $85 billion over to this other country, and leave all the goods over there, all of our good stuff, military stuff. I mean, what's going on here? Ask yourself this, because your taxes are going to get raised. Well, they're already getting raised now, and everything is going up and up and up. And I always mention them good old eggs that were 85 cents to $1.25 a dozen are now $4 plus. Anyway, all right, okay, I've already ranted and raved and all this stuff. You guys tell me what you think. I mean, throw your political stuff out there. I know it's a bunch of crap. Everybody says it's a bunch of crap, but let's talk about it. All right, I'm gonna leave you guys with this good old saying: when a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. You guys thinking about that one too? I mean, I'm throwing a lot of thinking things out there tonight. Think. All right, well, guess what? Flint's out.